Denver beat Dallas yesterday 41 to 17. Let me. I want you guys to 42 to 17. I apologize. I want you to think about that. Denver beat the Dallas Cowboys, the 13-3, who I personally predicted to go to the Super Bowl. The 13-3, Dak Prescott's the greatest player ever. Ezekiel Elliott's is great. Offensive line's the best thing of all time. Beat them 42 to 17. This happens every year, by the way, that a team improves from what it was last year. And Denver's not coming from nothing. I mean, hell, they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they missed the playoffs last season, but they missed it in the best division in football. But it happens every year where there is a cliche team. Like, there's one team that gets better simply by following the cliches. Dallas was that team last year. Denver is the cliche team this year. And what I mean by that, there's a bunch of old football cliches that a bunch of guys, when they first started playing football, got together and said, we're just going to repeat these same 10 lines over and over again. And there's actually like 100 of them. We're just going to repeat these over and over again until we can make them stick. And boy, do they stick. You hear it on every broadcast. You hear it on every time you're watching a football game. If you're hearing it on the radio, you're going to hear these cliches. But these cliches have merit because these cliches turn one team a year, this year it's Denver, into a really good to great team. Last year was Dallas. First cliche, they have to establish the running game. We hear all the time, yeah, you got to establish the running game. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever, John Madden. You know, you got to go forward. Denver, who could not run the ball last year, finished 27th in the NFL in rushing, has back-to-back games of 100-plus yards rushing, and C.J. Anderson had 100 yards by himself yesterday against a Dallas defense that, while no one would say is great, held the Giants to 3 points on their season open. First cliche, check mark, Denver. Second cliche, they have to make plays on both sides of the ball. There is no team that has more playmakers on defense than Denver. Not just this year, they had playmakers on defense last year, and when they went to the Super Bowl. When you talk about guys like Von Miller, Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, he's now 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns away from the all-time record. He got another one yesterday, and I'm going to talk about him a little bit later too. The 103-yard pick six. Von Miller is probably the best in the game right now at the strip sack. You count Brandon Marshall, the way he's able to make plays against tight ends. They have playmakers in the secondary. They have playmakers at linebacker. And they even got so-so at defensive line, with Derek Wolfe being their playmaker at defensive end and being a good run stuffer. So playmakers making plays on both sides of the ball. They got defense down. On offense, Sanders had 2 more touchdowns. You saw the big pass to DT. You saw it last week where DT had the big pass. Virgil Green at tight end had a 44-yard catch against the Chargers, and then had another big couple catches yesterday. They go 3 or 4 deep at wide receiver. They go 3 or 4 deep at tight end. And they've got guys who aren't even playing right now. C.J. Anderson, you saw the big runs he was able to make. Jamal Charles showing flashes of what he was in Kansas City. Make plays on both sides of the ball. Check. Cliche number 3, they need to dominate the line of scrimmage. This one might be a John Madden classic. But guess what they did against San Diego and especially against Dallas. Dallas, who is universally considered the number 1 offensive line in football. Denver absolutely dominated their offensive line yesterday. Ezekiel Elliott averaged 1 yard per carry yesterday. Think about that. That's something that's hard to do in Madden. To limit a running back, especially of that caliber, to 1 yard per carry. At halftime, he had as many yards as me and as many yards as most of you listening and or watching me right now. 0. That's dominating the ball on defense. Line of scrimmage on offense, I just talked about C.J. Anderson having 100 yards. Jamal Charles having 30-plus yards, and the pass protection, which you could have said was the only fault of them week 1, is they weren't able to protect Trevor Siemian as well. But that was also Garrett Bowles in his first NFL start against Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, who are 2 top end pass rushers. Dominate the line of scrimmage, check. Cliche number 4, which might be the all-time cliche. You ready for this one? You've all heard it 1,000 times. Defense wins championships. What did I say coming into the season? Denver's going to have the number 1 defense in the league. And people just laughed at me. Like, no. No, they were great 2 years ago. They're getting older. No. It's on. They're on the decline. No. Like, Vaughn's great. Everybody else, yeah. What have we seen in the first 2 weeks? They're right now currently at 19 points per game against, which in today's NFL, playing against Phillip Rivers and that offense, and then now Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense, to hold them to a combined under 20 points per game is elite. Considering whoever's going to finish number 1 in the NFL in defense is probably going to finish around 15, 16 points per game given up. And if you look at the team that did it last year, the Patriots, they did it on a significantly easier schedule. For Denver to be on 18-19, and if they hold that pace up, having the toughest schedule going off of last year's records, that's impressive. That's great. And I could literally name off, Denver has a chance to send 4 or 5 guys to the Pro Bowl. There's not a whole lot of teams that can do that. Both their corners, Pro Football Focus 1 and 2 rated corners in Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr., and Bradley Roby's good enough to start for almost every other team. They have Justin Simmons and Darian Stewart, which if you saw the way Justin Simmons played yesterday, he's starting to show out. That's the guy who they were willing to let TJ Ward go for. Darian Stewart, who was a Pro Bowler last year. Von Miller, Shaq Barrett's playing out of his mind. They get Shane Ray back next week. Brandon Marshall, Derek Wolfe. Their defense is number 1 elite. Even if they don't finish there, they are the best defense personnel-wise and even scheme-wise, because Vance Joseph did a really good thing, which is even though he took over and they let Wade Phillips go, and Vance Joseph is known for a 4-3 defense, he promoted Joe Woods, who already ran the defense with Wade Phillips, and kept him in a 3-4 because they've been that good. It's like when Mike Tomlin first went to Pittsburgh, he let Dick LeBeau keep his defense because he's like, hey, he's pretty good. I'm going to let him keep doing it. Cliche number 4, check. These are all things that happen every year. There's a cliche team. You just do these couple of cliches well. It's like Dallas last year. Another football cliche. Don't turn the ball over. Dallas did a great job of not turning the ball over last year. Dominating the line of scrimmage. Dallas did that last year. Establish a running game. Dallas did that last year. When you follow these cliches, no matter how mundane, boring, or you think insignificant they are, they can turn your team from bad or not where you wanted to be to really good to great. Denver is the cliche team of 2017. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. If you'd like to see more videos, click right here on my chest. And I will see you guys next time.